Ask the question. No, no, someone is raising up behind. Okay, Rejoice, is it you? Okay, thank you. Okay, so we continue, right? So we're looking at operations. We're looking at strategy, yeah, operation strategy, and I was trying to give an overview that okay, looking at the fact that every business needs a strategy to succeed, to compete, and also to survive. So, by example, like by divination, now you can actually sell that. Okay, okay, sorry, I don't think you can see my screen. Sorry, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay, you can see it now. Okay, so yeah, so operation. Over time, strategies and processes do change with with uh, with changes in the company's industry or or any technology. Like in particular, the historical evolution of operation and processing process management is linked intimately with the technological changes in their role in development of the industrialization. So now, by very simple now, what this material is actually telling us now, but the study two that we are now started just trying to tell us about the operation strategy. Like I said, operation management explains how uh, the operations department, that is, operations cannot happen without operations department in a company, right? So its operation strategy explain how the operations department support the company's overall strategy through a decision on quality, cost, speed, flexibility, and technology. So those things have to be in check. Understand? So if a business is the brain now, sorry, the business strategy is the brain. You understand? It's the brain of the business because everything. If the operation is not going well, what are we doing? What are we selling? What are we producing? Nothing. Do you understand? So our whole strategy actually falls on that. How do we make money? And if we want to make money, what is giving us money is how well it's our operation, how well we are doing in our operation. It can be services, it can be production line. Do you understand? So, but then the strategy that we're using have to be very, very good that can help us to navigate through life. Yeah. So we look at they are looking at the evolution here. We said until 1965, until 1765, the world of commerce and technology had changed very little from the one known to the Greeks and the Romans. So this is just reading that you can just breathe over it. But I have actually read through this material before. Like, I have read it some time ago. And then from understanding, yeah, what this just telling us is that, the evolution of strategy is actually, if you look at it from the back then, it used to be saying like war, like like fights. Do you understand? Because the strongest person is the one that wins. And it's even happening today too. But now, if you look at it in the modern days, like in the modern business strategies today, now what we focus on is we focus on understanding. Now, if you look at the big thing and the before now, it was like war, like the strongest survival of the fittest. But now, when we look at it in the modern days of business strategy, now we focus on the customers. Understand? We focus on customers. We focus on responding to the competition and using technology to enhance our work, and also using like kind of processes. How can we use these processes efficiently? You understand? We have a lot of processes. How can we manage these processes? Understand? So it's just a whole stuff. So, but you can actually, like I said, you can go through the material and you read about the evolution of the whole. Yeah. Okay. That's, oh, you don't want to. Okay. So now, why I'm saying that is that it is not like really a concept. It's just like a history, right? So there's not really something for me to explain there because it's not like a concept that needs explanation. It's a history that it is already written somewhere. But then, okay, so I will just talk about it based on my understanding, right? So the understanding of how I understand it is this. Like I said, before in the 1760, yeah, the strategy here, the strategy used to be like kind of war, like people that are strong and all that. They have to, you understand. But now when the world is changing every day, and currently now they just see we're in the modern days, and the business strategies now, every business is actually focusing on how can we understand our customer. We want to know our customers. Do you understand? So when you know your customers, you know how to market to them and all that. And then we look at, okay, now let's look at how the strategy evolved over time. Now we are looking at the pre-industrial era, whereby at that time they were kind of very low production, and hand tools were more people using their body, their skin. You know how to people are pushing a lot of stuff. There are even some places now people still use uh, their human capital to do some work. But then if you go to some places, a work that somebody is using their hands to do, a machine can do that work. Do you understand? But we are not going to that era yet. So we are looking at the pre-industrial era whereby there is very low in production. We are looking, people use the hand tools, and then people transport by horse and all those things. These are just history kind of thing. And then we move on down to industrial revolution in the 19, like let's look at from 1760s. You understand? From that 1765 onward like that. That is, we're talking about these people start using like steel engines and all that. Now, if you read from this guy, notes here, from here, you can see what he's saying. Until 1965. Do you understand? That is, so what he's talking about from what happened before the 1965 is like the pre-industrial era. Let's just not focus on that again. Understand? But now on this time, the world commerce and technology had changed very little from the known to the Greeks and Romans, although advances had been made in the textile, printing, and construction industries. Now, the commercial world of 1965 still faced the same physical limitation as ancient culture, right? So, transportation speed, whether of people, of goods, or information, was limited on land by the speed of the fastest horse. Now, so basically, now if you look at this point now, before this time, I talk about transportation was done with all those because that is until this, yeah, I understand, before those days. But then we can move down, then we understand that. So so you get, so now let's look at the 20th century now, right? Now when you come to this time now, these are 20th centuries. We're looking at the specialization, scientific management, quality control, global competitions and all that. And then now we're in the modern era, right? We talk about technology, we talk about automation, we talk about innovation, we talk about customer focused strategies. Do you understand? So this is kind of stuff that people do these days. It's kind of different from what happened before, right? Yeah. So like that was something that is it's crazy, but it's actually interesting though. Okay. So now we look at the operational effectiveness. Now here it just like when you're talking about operational effectiveness it means doing business process better than competitors, right? how can we be more effective than who is doing something like us? Do you understand what that means? Operational effectiveness means doing business processes better than our competitors. Okay, so doing business processes better than our competitors. Look at it here. Now, this is what it said. It said to deliver superior performance, a firm must strive to select product attributes that are distinct from those of its competition and create business processes that are more effective than its competitors. Its competition. So basically, what I'm just saying is like operation. If you look at operational effectiveness, it simply means how can we do businesses better? How can our business process be better than the one of our competitors? You understand? So, for instance, if it takes a competitor to deliver a pizza in 2 hours, how can we make it 30 minutes? You understand? So it makes us more effective. It makes us more better than our competitors. So it all these things it includes. So by the time you put all these things together, it includes like fewer defects. Just like I was talking about waste, right? You talk about waste defects here. You know what is defect? Yeah, defect that is the one that are bad. So if I'm producing pizza or let's say bread, if I'm producing bread, how many? If I'm producing 1,000 bread, now how many were bad? How many were good? So imagine we are producing bread before. We are producing about in 1,000 bread, we are having 50 that are bad. Now we are able to work on our process. Now, if we produce 1,000 bread, we only have 10 that are bad. We are making progress, we are moving, we are being effective enough to reduce our defects. And then we also have now it also includes faster production, lower cost, better quality, quick delivery, more reliable service, how our customers can rely on us. Do you understand? So if you know these guys, uh, FedEx, you know FedEx like a logistic company. Thank you. So if you look at those guys, they are not really focusing on cheap courier, but they are focusing on high effectiveness. They focus on that. They focus on speed, focus on tracking and reliability. So that if I know that my product is coming with this guy, I can track. I know where it's coming from. But another person can say, okay, guy, if this guy is charging you 20K to bring something from Ikeja to Aja, okay, me, I can take it 5K. But I don't have, I don't even trust your brand, first of all. I cannot track where my product is at the moment. But if I give this guy my item, I can know where it is. I can know when he's getting closer to me. So that like this guy that just brought something for me, I have to go down. When I went down, I have to wait for him and then he was not even there. But if I have something like if I use Uber to get something from an Uber ride, immediately something is coming to me. I'm using the map. And when the guy is getting close to my house, I know I can actually go downstairs to know I will just be waiting. I'll be going down so that I know that it's coming closer. Me and he will be getting closer. But if you don't have this kind of stuff in place, you know, these things alone, that alone can actually make people to trust this brand. What another person that is making it even cheaper. But that is their own strategy, right? That is their own marketing strategy, and they focus on that. So you know their strategy here align with their what fast and dependable delivery. People depend on them. People don't when they say it's coming with this, they trust it. And that's our strategy, and they're winning on that. That's all. Okay, so we'll just look at. So if you look at this guy, there's a question here. What is operation effectiveness? What would be your answer? You see the equation is even this they focus on speed and reliability, develop operational effectiveness with process having competency, speed and reliability, not low cost. So they already didn't even know their customers. Not everybody can afford me, fine. But I know that my process is sure. Let me just focus on my own customer. Then we'll move on. So now when we're talking about operation effectiveness, yeah, let's look at the strategy hierarchy. Understand? Because this effectiveness is coming from the strategy. Right? This is under strategy, operation strategy. So strategy, this is just 2.1, 2.2, right? Like this coming from there. So we're talking about strategy, like kind of the hierarchy in strategy. We have about let me check. From what I saw, there were three, right? We have the corporate strategy. You understand? We have the corporate strategy. You see it here. So some of the things that are already in the material, you may not really get to see them so big. But then if you look at it here, we have the strategy hierarchy. The strategic planning span between levels in our organization. Now, at the highest level of a diversified company, corporate strategy defines the businesses in which the corporation will participate and specify all the key corporate resources will be acquired and allocated to each business. So now, in this place now, right, the corporate strategies actually answered questions like, what businesses should we enter into? What kind of business should we do? Should we like diversify, or should we invest or sell our skip what? That is that is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So no, this is the hierarchy I'm talking about. So that I'm saying the hierarchy had like kind of three levels there, and then we have the corporate strategy. And that is what I'm saying. It's here. If you read this, you can get this. Can said the strategic planning span different levels. Yeah, and the levels here, they're at the highest level of the business. What you see there is the corporate strategy. So this guy, they focus on what business should we do? What business should we enter into? Understand? What should we invest or should we sell our division? Do you understand? Somebody say, okay, now can we? I have let's assume I build an app. I can decide to say, okay, now I can do my app valuation. I know how much it worth, and I decide to sell it. Or I can say, okay, let me just manage my app by myself, and then keep my business like that. You know, so it just this is the corporate strategy. Like example, like people like Dangote, Dangote did not start everything at once. He did not start Dangote oil refinery. He did not do cement and sugar business at the same time. It was they started from there. The corporate strategy. They're like, okay, can we let's just move into cement. Let's start sugar. Let's start spaghetti. Okay, let's go into oil. That's a corporate strategy. These guys, that's what they handle. And then we come down to the business strategy. Yeah, we can also have business strategy. Now, can you see? And at the next level now is the business strategy. Now, this guy, they define the scope of each division or business unit in terms of attributes of the product that it will offer and the market segment that it will serve. So this guy they talk about the competitive or strategy. So they kind of explain how the particular business competes to another person. So they look at their target market, they look at the product futures and the cost and quality decisions. That's what they look at. That's the business strategy. So the strategies here there are three. We look at we look at the corporate strategy, we look at the business strategy, and then the last one is and the next one is the strategy, the functional strategy. And if you look at the business strategy here, the one I will just explain now, that talk about the competition. You can see example like which phone company like Infinix. Infinix phone choosing to compete by they choose to compete with other phones by offering what cheaper phones, affordable phones for people to buy with good battery. So I can look at it now. So what they are trying to do is like they know very well that they cannot even. So funny enough, you know, people like Infinix, they have not, they compete with Apple, but now what they are doing is like they're choosing, they make people that okay, if somebody cannot afford an Apple phone, at least afford an Infinix phone. So they don't want to go and they don't want to say, okay, they want to produce phones like iPhones. No, they focus on this. This is our market, this is our market segment. So let's target these people, right? So anybody that does not afford phone, so you can look at it. Anybody that does not afford an Infinix, you can afford itel. Do you understand? That's the level. So itel too will look at some say, okay, people are saying, okay, I can't afford Infinix, so I can't afford Techno. Let's just focus on these people. Let's be doing phones for them. That is their own business strategy, like that. So we also have the another one, another level of it is the functional functional strategies that define the purpose of marketing, operations, and finance. The three main functions in most businesses: the marketing, operations, and finance. So the functional strategy here talk about the marketing. The marketing here talk about what they focus on. They focus on the customers. They focus on pricing and promotion. Marketing people, they focus on pricing and customers promotion of the business. And then operations here, they focus on the process design, they focus on the quality and speed or capacity, all those things. If you look at it, they focus on all those things. And then we look at the finance, the budgeting. They look at the finance here, they look at the budgets, yeah. Look at the budgeting, you know, anything that has to do with money in the business, investment, managing cash. So operation strategy must support business strategy, all those things. So everything to go well. Are we making progress? It's five already, yeah? Wow, 5:21. Perspective. No. We just let us move on. Let's just move on down. Stop at the, after this module. So now this here I will just give a kind of example that can just give us a summary of the business strategy. Yeah, a business strategy. So, example, let's look at a business like um, that's business strategy. That's business strategy. If you want to understand the man, the corporate strategy focus on what kind of business can we venture into? Can we switch to another product? Can we do you understand that is the top management that are talking now. We have not got into it. So now when it comes to business, now the business now focus on the target on the market. What market, which market segment should we? Who is our customers? Who are we going to market to them? What kind of product should we produce for these people? That's business stuff. Do you understand? So we now come down to the functional functions. We now the function strategy now is the strategies inside each department. What is your function? What is your function as a marketer in my business? Focus on my customers. What is your function as an operation? Do operation has different part. Yeah, we'll talk about process design, quality, speed, capacity. What can we do? How can we do it? That is operation. And then we'll talk about another function in the it talk about the finance, people that manage budgets, investment, managing cash and all that. Do you get? So there are just three functions, strategies. No, we won't get down to answering questions. Questions will be there for you to answer. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we have questions here. Okay, so now we have question number one. So we'll answer this question then. I think, yeah, so that will be your, yeah. So question number one, let's look at it. So he said discuss the concept of operation strategy. So who can answer that question? Fast. It's very simple. We don't have to waste time. Okay. Operation strategy, yeah. It's it's what again? Operation strategy is let's just say okay, is a long term plan that determine how the operation, like how operation will support the company's overall strategy. A company has their own strategy, yeah. But now the strategy, the operation strategy now is the long term. They just look at it as a long term plan from 2 years, 4 years, 5, 10 years. You understand? No. But then if you look at okay, yes. Okay, okay, that was the question. Okay. So we just answered this question about nine, I think, 11. So we'll answer the ones we can answer. He said, discuss the concept of operation strategy. Like I said, operation strategy for me, I can say, is a long term a plan that determines how the operations will support the company's overall strategy. And it involves the decisions, it involves decision about the technology that they're going to use, their capacity, the quality, the process design, inventory, and workforce that can help to achieve their competitive advantage for those things. So we look at how can operation strategy be used to achieve organizational objectives. How can operation strategy be used to achieve organizational objectives? Now, organization will have the objectives for it can be for a year, can be for a month, and all that. So, who can give me one? How can operation strategy be used to achieve organizational objectives? No question number one. You can give me like two, rejoice. Or Auntie Z, you can give me like four. Yeah. So let me give you like example one, right? How can operation strategy be used to achieve organizational objectives? One, by improving customer, but by improving costs, right? By improving cost, quality, and speed. By doing that, it will help the company to achieve their goals, right? And you also, if they, how can operation by, how can we are looking at how can this guy help? How can they support us? How can this now? I'm talking now as an MD, right? And you as my manager operation, I'll ask you, Madam, how can you support as an operation manager for me? How can your strategy? How can they help me to achieve this 20 billion that I want to make next year? I will not tell you, like you now just like just bring the strategies. Now, one of it is to support my innovation, all those things. So they just things that they are just kind of practical things. You can't just think about them. Do you understand? If I call you for an interview now, begin to ask you questions, how would you say? What would you say? You say that I should focus on my objectives. You just come here to work. Habi? Okay. I remember this one. I went for one interview like that, and I think the HR, it was a lady, asked me that because like usually I have a kind of benchmark here. The benchmark is I don't want to. I usually work short time. For instance, I give a benchmark of 2 years. If I work for 2 years in the place I'm living, so when she saw my CV, she was like, this, "How do I live? Why am I working in a place short, short? Like, how? Why is it that I leave the company so quick?" And I told her that it's because of money. And I told her that even this one, if I if I get another job, if I start it and if I get another job next week, I'll stop. She was like, "Wow, this guy." She was like, "Actually, that is actually an honest answer, but that is it. If I have a better offer, you cannot keep me. I'll leave." So that is why I have to leave. So if I work for 2 years, after the 2 years, I'm looking for another offer that is more than the one I have. That's the plan actually. So I told her, okay, why? Number one, like I said, is for the money, and number two is for my it's for career. I like having, like, for instance, experience. I have experience in different aspects of work. Yeah. So if I work in in a service, I want to go into consulting too. So I can look for a job in a consulting firm that I can still give my service. Right. That if I want to, I can go to production. Okay, so I can work in the production industry. To also learn the process and all that. It just so it, no, no. It's not for me actually. It's not for me. Okay, so actually for me now, okay, let us say I am actually building a career, like I want to call it a portfolio career, right? So a portfolio career, it means like I'm getting to a point that I will stop working. I will know that now I'm not working for one person. I can be working for more than 5 people as long as I want. So I can be working for this person will know that this is me and this is me and this is me. So I will just tell you that, okay, as you employ me, I know you know that I have work, but you want me to work for you. So you accept the terms. That's all. It can, yes, it can anyhow you want it. If you say I should work for you, you tell me your I'm the one to give you the terms. Yeah, that is actually the career I'm building. It's a portfolio career, that's all. So what that means is like it requires you to have experience a lot in different kind of different fields actually. So I don't want to, like, if I come to your office and I'm able to know about HR, I cannot be learning HR for 2 years. I go there like I want to learn HR. I'll learn the HR in 1 year. And after that 1 year, the next year, I have learned the process. I learned the process of payroll. I learned the process of recruitment. I learned the process of performance. I know HR. I'll look for another role. If you want in that your company, if you want, you can still employ me again in another department. I will go. Yeah, right, that's it. So let's just continue anyways. Let's forget all this talk. But I have like it just normal thing, yeah. Any work you have and you know that there's no other if I said if I don't see any hope for another one, I will stay now. The thing is, I cannot leave work to find another one until I get another one before I leave. So yes, it's there. It's actually there. 2 years. It's there. Now now the truth, yes, they will see this way I'm working, but that is the same thing they saw. Yeah, but when you see that, for instance, you can actually now when you talk to me, I can actually tell you, okay, here, this is what I'm like. You already know by myself, you know the experience I have, right? I know what I'm coming to do for you. And if you know I can do it for you, I will tell you I'm doing it for you. And then if I go there, you can actually use me, yeah. You can use me. You have other staff that want to stay for 20 years. Bring them, let me train them, then I'll put my knowledge with them. I will leave. So when I leave, you already have you- so you have other people. Yes, you have people that want to live for 20 years with you. Like, it's fine, they can stay. So that's cool. But then, anyways, let's continue. We have another question number three. He said, differentiate between operation strategy and strategic management. And so that's the name of the course. Is it not operation, production, and operation management? So that's the name of the course now. So just they say operation. Every page you must say operation. Every page of this material. Okay, so we have operation. They said what is the differentiation between operational strategy and strategic management? So now, in a very simple way, I can say that I can say operation strategy is part of strategic management. Now, first of all, you cannot ask me what is strategic management. Now, strategic management is the overall process of setting goals and then analyzing the internal and external environment. That is the strategic management. So by the time you know a strategy, so strategic operation strategy is part of strategic management, but it focuses more on the operation department that contribute to achieving the overall goals of the company. Do you get? Because the strategic management now is it now oversee everything, oversee all the process of setting goals, analyzing the internal and external environment. That to know, okay, yeah, we can we can go here, we can do here, we cannot do here, we cannot say this. It just it's just very tricky. It's just a tricky stuff. But then it's actually nice. I think we can answer this question, or I can answer this question like this, and we can just answer there and some and send it to the group to anybody read. Because lectures may pick their exam questions from here. So another question number four say explain the difference between corporate strategy, business strategy, functional strategy. Hmm. You see example. So can you see now? Now look at it. They said that illustrate with any company of your choice. So first of all, remember what we said about corporate strategy. We said that the corporate strategies focus on what the business, what the business to, what businesses to invest into. Do you understand? What businesses can we invest into? What business can we start? What business line can we start? That's a corporate strategy. What businesses to invest into? And then we can look at the example of MTN. You know, MTN started investing in mobile money when they do Memo, I be Momo or whatever. Yeah. Do you know about MTN Momo? Momo agent. Momo money is like it's just mobile money, right? So they just wanted idea. They even I think that the time they were giving people POS. Some people have POS, Memo POS, and they have like Memo agents. Yeah. So that is MTN. You know, MTN as what a service provider, and they are investing into another what business. That's just a quick example that can come to mind. And you can think of any other business like Dangote moving from chemical cement having to invest into sugar, investing into oil and all that. That's corporate strategy. Can just think of anything. And then we look at the business strategy. This one they focus on and they look at how to compete. How can we compete with our what competitors? How do we compete? So it's very so this is just simple stuff. So if you look at this one, I can also think of. of I cannot think of Glue now in terms of Glue and MTN. Glue offers people affordable, in fact, cheap data, but we can't use it because it's too slow. Yeah. So that strategy does not work. Because for me, if I buy my data, then it should be efficient for me. I should be able to use my data. So even if it is cheap, I cannot still buy because even if I buy it, I will not still use it. But now the strategy is to give you affordable data. So when MTN is selling, is MTN is giving you 1 gig for 1,000, Glo will give you two gig for 1,000. But then some people will prefer to buy Glo because it's cheap. So they're looking at how can we compete. So a customer that's supposed to buy MTN 1 gig, they'll say, I prefer to buy Glo that give me 2 gig for 1K. That's business. That is business strategy. So we look at the functional strategy. So this one we can look at departmental rules like operation, improving network uptime, and you know, different things. So we can look at functional, this one we look at departmental rules. Like I said, this one that functions in the business. So we can have the marketing and all these things. So okay, I don't know. Did it change it? Did it change? No. Okay, yeah. So we have another question number 5. He said that we should illustrate how the four perspective would operate in a not-profit organization such as charity, which provide hostel accommodation and other welfare service for the homeless. So we are looking at how does operation happen in this kind of organization. Now, how the four perspective would operate in a not like a non-profit organizations like NGOs. So what would be the answer? Question number 5. Before. Okay, now we are looking at four operational perspective. Now, when you're looking about like, so I'm just trying to think along with this knowledge here. So now looking at this kind of business, like this kind of organization, like the non-charity, non-profit organization like charity, yeah. So which provide hostel accommodation and other welfare service for it. So you look at it now, the kind of operations that happen there, let's look at the financial operation where they are trying to get like they're using when you talk about the financial operations here, they're kind of getting uh so you remember that when you talk about operations or financial operations in the business world, you are looking at the department that focus on budgeting and all that, the investment and other things in the financial aspect of the business. But when you come to like this business now, let's say in the financial aspect of it, we can look at that the financial function of the NGO now. We can look at use of donations. You understand use of donations wisely because people donate into it, so they need to also have the financial function of the NGO that help them to manage their donations. Just like BDM, people are sending him money now. People are asking for the money. People are asking for statement of account. I don't even understand. So, now if you look at the kind of business like the BDM NGO now, right? People are the one now. If you look at it now, you don't have defined stakeholders. I mean, everybody that donated money to him is automatically a stakeholder, and that person can actually ask him for what he's doing with the money, because that is your stakeholder. These are the people that are involved in the business, that contributed, that donated. So I can be like, okay, I donated 20,000 naira, and I want the 20,000 naira to use to buy clothes for a child. Now, did you buy the clothes? I can ask you questions. Do you understand? So that's the financial aspect of it. And if you look at if you want to look at the other perspective, like the customer perspective, I understand. You look at the, the homeless people, or we are looking at the charity organization, and we look at the satisfied homeless guests, people that they visited, people that are satisfied with their services. If I have an angel where I meet up the less privileged or the homeless people, are they satisfied? That is the customer aspect of it. But in a business where we are looking at your customers are people that are buying, right? Are people that you are looking at. But here you're looking at people. Here too, you have customers. But your customer here are maybe the homeless people, people that do not have clothes to wear. Are those guys satisfied with your operation? Operation goes in everywhere, even in your house. Do you understand? So I'm just thinking it anyways. I mentioned two already. I said financial. Financial. Yeah. Or which one? Okay, so now when you talk about finance in a business, what is the function of the financial department, right? In a business, these people are in charge of budgeting, they're in charge of investing, they're in charge of managing the company's money, right? So the finance department, they are in charge of managing the company's money wisely. So they are the one to know the investment. What kind of investment should we use the money for? What kind of business should those kind of stuff. So that's what I'm saying. In this kind of scenario now, like a homeless, like a charity organization, let's look at use of donations wisely, because if you don't have a functional financial department as an NGO, how can you manage the donation that people are sending to the account to manage? People are donating money. Yeah, you are not making the money as a business. All the money you make now, people are sending it to you, or either you have another source of money that you, but people are supporting. Or if you declare your business as a non-profit organization, that means you are not making money by what you are doing. It's people are supporting. It's people partnership. People partner with you to do this thing, so they are sending money to you. So you need to manage these funds. For do you understand now? That's what I was trying to explain. Yeah. And also, we can even look at learning and growth. Now, there are different, we are looking at operations in this aspect. We can look at even internal processes. The internal processes of an NGO, let's we look at. For instance, we have, we want to visit a homeless baby, like homeless children, and maybe want to give them food. We can look at how efficient is the food, how the sleeping arrangement, all those things. And we can even look at the learning and growth aspect of operation, where we need to train the volunteers and staff. Because if at NGO also have staff. I have worked with about currently now I'm an active volunteer in an NGO like Smile Exponential and like Exponential. I'm one of the like seniors manager. So what we do is like it's an organization that actually reach out to. So I work with it's a volunteer job. they're not paying me, like, though there are some other benefit of being with them anyways. Yeah, but they are not like paying me like monthly. What I do is like I first of all, I'm one of the senior managers for innovation and IT support here. So I manage their website. I do their learning management system. Like they have an LMS where they train volunteers. We have about 1,000 volunteers that we use. So we what we do for them, we train them. Right, this operation is an NGO here, but then we happen to train these volunteers. So we have an LMS where these people that are joining us are volunteer. We have some certain courses that they go through. So they go through these courses. And we have different departments like that. But then they're all no, they don't pay us money. But that's why I just mentioned learning and growth. It's an operation too that goes on in the business in the end you get. So we we have another question which is number 6 here. Number 6 is talking about that. Explain how an individual branch of a large supermarket chain can contribute directly to the strategic aims of the whole company. Help other parts of the company to contribute. Now, how can an individual supermarket branch, uh, sorry, I need to pick this call. Sorry. To get so that's it. Sorry, I had a call and I had to pay. So yeah, we are looking at number 6 that say how explain how an individual branch of a large supermarket chain can contribute directly to the strategic aims of the whole company and also help others help other parts of the company to contribute. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mhm, mhm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So like the first point you made is very important. So what how they contribute directly is that just like the point you made, they have to maintain excellent customer service, like how customers is satisfied with all that, and also to keep the shelves in stock. If I come to buy, I should know if I go to buy toothpaste, I should always know that I'll see the toothpaste there. Not when I get there and it's not there, they'll be telling me it's bringing it. So they keep the shelves in stock and also to reduce waste. And then also they meet their sales target. They also have targets that maybe they want to make in the morning. All those stuff are just basic business stuff. And then so the other one say how can this help other how to also can help other parts of the company to contribute. So now they want to now this person it's an individual, it's directly contributing to the company. Now, how can the person now help other parts of the company to also contribute? So mm, yeah, so just like you said, the person is going to make if the person is going to maintain customer satisfied customers, yeah, so that means the person will help the company, the business to get the customer feedback so that I will know that okay, yeah, they are good, they are not good. That is the only thing. So it will also provide accurate data, sales data at the end of the day, and also support marketing campaigns. So this is just going to just help the whole other parts of the business. and all that. So guys, so this question we can't finish them. We are tired. We are tired. Yes. So we can. We can actually answer them in our dreams. So when you are sleeping like this, you'll be thinking about them today. Okay, so I will just let's see answer this number 11. I think it's interesting. It said that sketch out what you think an operational strategy metrics will look like for a convenience store. Do you understand this question? Now, have you actually seen what like an operational matrix looks like, strategy matrix looks like? So so now let's just do it together. So when we're talking about that, like the matrix is going to be in this man. Let's assume that we have our store, uh, our store layout like this, and then we also have like inventory input, inventory input. So the question again, like sketch out what you think an operational strategy matrix would look like for a convenience store. So with that, we can have something like this. So we have the inventory units, we have the inventory management, and then we can have the staff. We have the staff, and also we have the supplier. So now here we have, let's say we have the cost, and then we can have quality. So these are when we're talking about operation. We're looking at the strategy. We are looking at the cost, and then when we look at the cost, we also look at speed of delivery, and then we look at uh, flexibility. All these things we just kind of consider them. We can think of other things, but let's say flexibility. So we can look at what is dependent. Like let's say something that will depend on so much. Can we say dependability or something? Dependability. So now what we hear now, we are actually going to kind of rate this. And so let's okay. If we have this is a matrix already, yeah. So store layout and cost. When you look at this matrix now here, is the cost of this the cost of store layout, is it going to be high or low? Now what the matrix is just telling you that this is let's just this are the columns, and this is just for this store that we are building now. This is a store, convenience store. I don't know that you understand what this store means. Let me just explain it better. For, are we still together?